All right, hey guys. I keep saying April, May 13th. Um, Camp's down that way. We're going to talk about something that happened 2 years ago. It was one of the most incredible things that we've experienced collectively as a group, and frankly, that I've ever experienced. But we were down. Uh, See where it dips and the road goes off to the right. That's down where the camp is, and we were standing down there. And Wayne and I had noticed an individual cross the road up here, and the reason we were able to see him, and I'll go back this way, is because we had skyline. So we walked down here to see where he came from, and we got to this point, and I stopped, and I looked to the right, and in front of us right in here, it was just twinkle lights all over the place. So we all got to about, we're standing here on the edge of the road, and we're looking out there, and Wayne looks down and says, "I've got little green lights down on my feet,"
At my feet.
or at his feet.
Yeah.
And look down, and so, Wayne's here. There's his feet
Yeah,
where they're supposed to be.
It was down here. It looked like a double six domino. Actually, it was just rows of lights, and it looked like a double six domino. I might have had more dots than that, but it was very equilateral. Equilateral. And we're standing just like we are now. Me, Kevin, and Chris. It's dark over here, but we see all these twinkle lights. I said, "I'm
they
gonna."
were like,
Huh?
They were like central to this too. They were
Yeah,
like,
they weren't everywhere. They were just right here in this little area.
yeah, they were
But there was bunches of them.
concentrated.
Very concentrated. As I said, I'm gonna walk in there, see what it feels like. So I leave my little domino on the ground there, and I just take like 3 steps, and I'm standing right here. Nothing really feels different other than it's a very calming atmosphere. Decidedly more so than where I just came from, and I'm just standing here like this. I'm facing the other way. But I'm just standing here, just like soaking up good energy, and I know nothing more is going on.
Yeah. So after he'd taken those couple of steps, I was like, Wayne, are you okay? And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Why?" I said, "You disappeared. I could not see him. I could see the trees back behind him. I could see the twinkle lights past him. I couldn't see him. And so Chris is standing right next to me, and he says, "I can see him just fine."
I was like this. I was
Yep.
off to this angle, and I could still see his silhouette. I could see his silhouette, but I could also see through it, and I could see like twinkle lights, orbs, all this kind of like electrical discharge around his body. That's what I saw from this angle. And then my recollection is that Kevin grabs my shoulder.
Well, at first I leaned over because I was like, "Oh, I can see him now." And then I grabbed Chris like this, and I drug him over here.
I didn't like that, by the way.
Yeah.
You didn't like it again today?
No, I didn't. I hated it then too. Just for the record, that's a recreation I didn't need.
Yeah.
But when I moved to the same vantage point, mind you, we are this close to Wayne. Like,
Yeah.
if I, in any other area, I would have been able to see him clearly. And he literally vanished as I moved over to this way. And to this day, I've never understood whether it was just. I still don't know what that was. I don't know. But when Wayne turned around and walked out, he just kind of like rematerialized in front of us. And this wasn't one of those things where it was pitch black and we couldn't see. We could see clearly. We could see the skyline through the forest. We could see twinkle lights beyond where Wayne and they were all congested in this one area. We could see twinkle lights beyond where Wayne had entered. So it wasn't like he had we didn't have the visual perspective to see him at the distance we were at, but the angle changed what it was. And to this day, we have scratched our heads over what happened there. I always felt that, we use terms that get thrown really loosely around in this phenomenon, like portal. But the idea that we watched this forest person, we think that's what it was. It wasn't a human. Cross right from this area and then Wayne goes into, this was 3 minutes later, Wayne walks in through where this guy came out from and seems to disappear. And I think my own perception is that it was some sort of residual energy left over from whatever that guy was doing.
Yeah, from something or whatever it was.
Whatever he was coming from, crossing the veil, all these terms that we hear, was it that's what happens when maybe we see twinkle lights in camp. It's them crossing over, and it's just some sort of discharge that occurs from them making that transference. I don't know, but I know that this happened, and this wasn't just some vague, Wayne just disappeared. But did he really disappear? Yeah, from this angle, he was gone. From the side angle, he was there, but translucent. So that's how I perceived what happened. That's what I saw.
Right, so I feel nothing going into it other than calmness and there was something between me and the two other team members that were standing behind me that you couldn't see straight through it, but you could see around it. So there was like something right here that I stepped through that I didn't even know. I didn't feel it. I couldn't see it. All I saw was the twinkle lights on the ground and the twinkle lights in here.
And you could still see this 3D kind of reality.
Yeah.
That didn't change. So, we've always interpreted that Wayne didn't pass into another anything. Wayne was still here with us.
Yeah, I was talking.
But
We were talking.
immersed in this discharge, which is that's the closest thing that I can come to explaining it.
And that's as close as I could possibly come because I have no idea.
Yep.
No idea. He was there 1 minute, next minute he was gone.
It was without a doubt the most singularly unique thing that I've seen out with the Arizona Fort. And I've seen a lot of unique things, but this one was, it hasn't reoccurred. We've never repeated it. This is the first time we've been back here since this happened, really. For me, it's been 2 years, because this area was closed, and that's why we determined it would be a good idea to come and revisit this, because it was definitely something that if you are engaged in this and you're out and you're doing the deal, that should be passed on to you, that this type of stuff has been happening. This was a new one for all of us, though, for sure.
Yeah.
So that pine tree that's closest to the road right there, about 10 feet off the road or less, that's about where we were standing and we were talking. And as we do stand in a little circle, me and Kevin saw something dart across the road. Because if you look down the road and there's any moonlight at all, the road is just a lit up path. So if something crosses it, you're going to see it. So it wasn't as bright
Road's
as
a generous term for this stretch of
okay. Roadway.
roadway.
Well, compared to what it was a few years back,
Yeah.
it's a road.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was this wide.
No, it wasn't
I think it's 10 feet wider than it was.
on both sides.
Yeah, maybe.
But we digress.
digress.
But anyway, so with the channel, the experiencers, that's some of the kind of stuff that we experience, and it's nice to to revisit it and do a shot on location, to share with you guys, and because sometimes a little more than just sitting around a campfire is beneficial. So there it is. As always, we thank you for listening to us and paying attention or not paying attention. Be good to yourselves. Be good to those around you. Pay close attention to your surroundings. Please stay safe. Peace out.